There are other ways to determine if a function, if an equation is a function, represents a function or not, and we can do that using algebra. So here we have x squared plus y squared equals 1. Is this a function of x? So without drawing a graph, what we can do, if we can solve for y, if we're successful, so we get y equals a function of x, an expression of x, then we can say y is a function of x. So let's try that. We're going to try to solve for y. How do we solve for y? I like to think about solving for y as getting rid of all of y's friends. So what friends does it have? It's got a plus x squared, and it's got a squared right there. Now this is PEMDAS. When you're doing arithmetic, you always go downwards here. When you do algebra, you can go either way. Generally, when in doubt, go upwards. So take care of addition, subtraction before multiplication, division, before exponents, and then finally parentheses at the end. So we got no parentheses here. Do have exponents, don't have multiplication, division, and I do have addition, subtraction. So we're going to take care of the x squared first. How do we do that? We're going to subtract x squared. So we get this, we're just subtracting x squared. It's absolutely okay to write the minus x squared on both sides. That's absolutely okay to do. I'm going to skip that just really to save time. Once we're here, now what do? I just have to get rid of the squared. How do we get rid of a squared? I do the opposite, which is a square root. And we have 1 minus x squared. But remember, y, if you square it, if it was negative, it would become positive automatically. So you lose the fact that y can be positive or negative. So when you take a square root of something squared, you get plus or minus. Now, how do you think about these? You should think about it the same way your brain is saying them. So you either get y equals positive square root 1 minus x squared, or y equals negative square root 1 minus x squared. So did we solve for y? If you knew what x was, unfortunately, I would know either what y is as a positive or a negative value. So if you told me x was 0, to keep it simple, we would have 1 minus 0 is 1, square root is 1, and over here we get the same thing except it would be square root of 1 negative. So you would say if x equals 0, then y equals either square root 1 or y equals negative square root 1. So you would either get 1 or negative 1. This breaks the function rule. So right here, because we could not solve for y, what that means is there'll be some x values, and it only takes one x value that has two different y values. So we couldn't solve all the way for y. We got a plus or a minus. Because of that, we're not a function.